everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's really nice to see you again. So as promised, this is all about the cost of the van, what you need to do, and some little bit more information if you are interested in coming to New Zealand and either purchasing a van or living van life through renting and what have you, because some of the things are going to overlap.
They are, yeah. So first things first, to rent or to buy?
That is the question.
So it really does depend on how long you're going to be here for. And again, it depends on the size of the van you want, what facilities you want in the van, and we'll come on to that in a minute. As an average, again, it's difficult to say, but it's going to cost you about 500 quid a week to rent a van. £500 to £600 a week to rent a fairly basic van.
Yes.
You ain't going to get much for your dollar.
No.
And so if you're here for longer than, so we say 6 weeks, I don't know.
Yeah, more than 6 weeks.
Yeah,
because
more than 6
there
weeks.
are people that are here for 2 or 3 months and buy and sell them.
You would be better off getting your own van. So that comes to us.
Yes. So basically, when you come to New Zealand is very much, there's no resorts. So it's very much like, let's call it hitchhikers or backpacking. So they buy a cheap car, anything between $1,000 and maybe $6,000, let's say, dollars.
No, pounds.
Pounds, okay. And that has to have the capacity of.
So you have to be able to for it to be self-contained, you have to be able to use, it has to have a toilet in it. Most of them have like porta potties, just thing, and they were going to try and introduce the rules that toilet facility has to be available at all times, whether the bed is made up or not. So that would have cut out a lot of the 7-seater type vehicles.
Yes.
It also has to have the capacity to carry and use fresh water and store the grey water once it's been used. It's based on the amount of people, so it's a set amount of litres per person per day, and you need about 3 days worth.
Yes.
As I say, the rules may or may not be changing. They're trying to get it through.
Yeah, but we don't think it's going to happen.
We don't think it's going to happen.
So that's what a lot of the younger people do. Then you get people like us who have different requirements. I needed a loo that I needed to be able to access at all times, and yeah. That's it.
And we both wanted to stand up.
Yes.
We did try a couple of vans where the headroom wasn't great. No. You really don't want to be bending over when you're doing anything, really. Cooking is the worst.
Yeah, and people that follow the channel know that I've got a bit of a back issue, so that was not going to be conducive to us, because we knew that we was going to be in the van for at least 5 months. So that is what is called, what's the certificate called again?
Self-contained.
Yep, self-contained certificate, sorry.
So it used to be just a little bumper sticker on the back. But then, you know, enterprising people produce these little stickers for you to buy on Amazon or such like. So now you have to have a card that's issued by
someone who,
it's one of the New Zealand agencies, and it has to be stuck in your windscreen. If you haven't got that particular card or in date, and you end up parking somewhere where it's self-contained only, you're going to get a ticket. And the tickets at the moment are $200.
$200 per day. Yeah. So per day. And the test is about $80. So you've got to have it. You can't park in any of the Freedom Camping places without it. There are the odd few places that do allow car sleeping, because some people do, but they would rather the Freedom Campers not park there. They are literally, they'll have a toilet, and that is people that are sleeping in cars, because that does happen. Okay, so that's the thing. So we needed to ensure that the van had the Freedom Camping certificate. Yep, that's the first thing you need.
And the beauty of it is, once you've got it, it's going to be valid for
2 to 4 years.
2 to 4 years.
Yeah, depends how much I think you pay.
At the moment, because of the proposed changes, all certificates are going to run out in 2026. Regardless, because they couldn't extend it any more than that. But they're generally valid for, I think, 4 years, so not a problem.
Right, so that's what you need to have. So your van's got to have that. Your van's also got to have what we know as a MOT. Here it's called a WOF, a warranty of fitness. And the warranty of fitness for us, we didn't have to pay for the freedom camping thing because it was already done and it's valid for another few years. So the WOF for us, because we had joined the AA, was £26.
Yeah, and when you buy your van, we're going to assume now you're going to be buying a van. Any vehicle that is pre-2000 has to have one of these WOF things every 6 months.
Yes.
It's quite a stringent test, similar to the UK MOT, but what they do not like in any way, shape or form is rust. Any visible rust, it will fail. Regardless of whether the rust is structural or not, any visible rust, and they're not having any of it. They really don't like it at all. So that's where it is. All the other stuff, they test your brakes and your suspension.
Yeah, all the same stuff.
All the same stuff. So if you're going to buy a van, just check when it was made. It's quite a simple process. There is quite a lot of personal private numbers, if you like. But any vehicle that needs a WOF every 6 months will have 2 letters and 4 numbers. Anything with 3 letters and 3 numbers, it's a yearly WOF. So
yep.
There you go.
That's after 2000.
Yeah, that's after 2000.
That's pretty good. So then you've got the Rego, and that is the equivalent of our car tax.
Yeah.
And depending on the size of your vehicle and one thing and another, we got 6 months but I think we can only get 6 months.
No. So in New Zealand, you can buy as much as you like, a month at a time.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, the more you buy, up to 12 months. So like in the UK, 12 months will be an amount, 6 months will be slightly more than half, and 1 month at a time will be a bit better than a 12th, you know, a bit more expensive than a 12th. So if you bought it 1 month at a time, you would pay significantly more than if you bought 12 months worth.
Yeah. So we bought 6 months worth because there was about 3 or 4 months on it anyway, so it needed to be renewed. So we bought 6 months, and that cost us £46. We then, because we are a diesel vehicle, diesel is a lot cheaper here than what it is petrol, but then you have the road user charges for diesel, and that comes to £38 per 1,000 kilometres. And Kevin, you can tell them about that.
So, as you know, fuel is taxed at the pump. Diesel in this country is not taxed at the pump.
I don't know why.
I don't know. So, depending on the vehicle that you have, now our vehicle is under 3.5 tonnes, so it is like the basic vehicle. It's the same as a car. The only time that your odometer is checked is when you get it MOT'd or woofed.
Yeah.
And at that point, they will also check your road user charges. Also, of course, if you get stopped by the police, which is, it's something that they do just because they do.
The odd spot check.
Yeah, the odd spot check. They'll just do a series of spot checks on the side of the road for no reason whatsoever. But they'll check your road user charges, and if you're out of it, then there's a big fine involved. So it's a fairly simple process. It's all done online. Or you can go to various agencies. The bigger the vehicle, the higher the charges. And if you happen to be driving around in a crane, it gets really, really expensive.
Yes. And you have to buy them in advance.
Yeah.
You cannot be behind on them because that is a fine in itself.
Yes.
And if you sell the vehicle and there's too much on there, they'll think, well, why is that so?
Yeah,
that's the problem.
In times of special offer, they don't really like you buying too much.
No, and at the moment, as Kevin said, there's a special offer. We did join the AA because, like, peace of mind and one thing and another, and that cost us £85.41. You can only buy a year, so when
and that was the top thing. They do sort of 3, and their top thing is for motorhomes and stuff. They'll come and get you, they'll take you to the garage, and I think there might have been...
there was a hire car.
There was a hire car and maybe some overnight accommodation in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the money, peace of
stuff.
mind, no problems at all.
So they're all the things, apart from the AA, that you have to have. New Zealand's quite unique that you do not need insurance.
Yeah, you do not need vehicle insurance to drive a vehicle
Yeah.
on the road in New Zealand. However, So when you're buying your car tax, your Rego, there is, I forget what they call it, but included in that price is cover for your medical. So if you have an accident and you have to call an ambulance and go to hospital, then that is covered in that, and you have to make a claim and stuff like that. Touch wood.
Touch wood.
We've been okay.
We've been okay. So they're the things that you need to have all the time, apart from the AA, which is optional but for peace of mind. So let's just go on to the price of the van. So we had a look round. We did spend the first month when we was in New Zealand. The weather was atrocious. It didn't bother us too much. We hadn't seen our kids for 3 years, so we were spending quality times with them, and in the meantime looking for a van. Now, because of the requirements that we wanted, they sell like gold. So this is the thing that I wanted to say. So if you're here for more than 6 weeks, honestly, there are vans for sale all the time, and they sell pretty quickly. If you've got a van up for sale and it hasn't sold after 2 weeks, there's a problem. Trust me. It's either something deadly wrong with it, it stinks of sweaty feet,
yeah, or it's too expensive.
Or it's too expensive. So when we saw this, we have to admit it was cheap for what it was, and we was really lucky. So we eventually found this van. We did have to wait for a little job to be done on it, but we paid £7,812.50, but that was the exchange rate at the time, which was 192. So £1.92. No, $1.92 to the pound. So, and we had a budget of 10, so we was very happy with that, wasn't we?
Yeah, we were happy with that. But we then had to bring it up to the standard that we required to live in it. Yeah, that's it. So when we bought it, the chap said it's got a solar panel on the roof, and the fridge is 12 volt only.
Yeah.
Most fridges in the UK are 3-way, so you get 12 volt, and they also run on the gas, and then they run on the 240 when you plug it in. This is a 12 volt compressor fridge, and it's quite common. Most of the fridges in the vans are just 12 volt only. So we bought it. He showed us all the electrical hookup and stuff. We took it to a campsite, we plugged it in, and it didn't make any difference to the van whatsoever.
Just a couple of live sockets.
Yeah, just a couple of live sockets. Oh, and the microwave worked.
Oh, the microwave.
And you know what microwaves are? They're just expensive bread bins.
Yeah,
so
we don't use the microwave.
We don't use the microwave. The microwave came out, that was it. So at this point we're thinking, okay. So the fridge, the solar panel that was on the roof barely kept the fridge up. The chap said, oh yeah, you just turn the fridge off at night. No.
Especially in the heats that we've had, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. So we looked around and we were lucky. Black Friday happened. So we managed to buy ourselves an extra solar panel. It came with an MPPT charge controller. We also bought a B2B DC to DC charger at 20 amps because again there was no system in the van that charged the leisure batteries when you're driving along. I don't know. Anyway, so we bought one of those, and we needed mains electric as well. The laptop that we use, it's too powerful, and we can't get a 12 volt thing. Most of the stuff we've got does
12 volt,
will run on 12 volt, but there's a couple of items that we have to plug in. So we bought the inverter as well. So the B2B was...
No, well, I'm going to just say so for the B2B, the inverter and the solar panel together cost us £286.46, which we thought was quite a bargain considering that everything in New Zealand is so expensive.
Yeah. I mean, you know, people are there going, wow.
Yeah.
So the B2B it works. It's a 20 amp B2B. There's nothing special about it. It's the 4 wires. It's isolated, so 2 wires to the alternator or the vehicle battery, and 2 wires to the leisure batteries in here. We didn't have to pay for fitting because luckily we had access to tools. I'm pretty good at that sort of stuff. I know what I'm doing. So that was it, and that turned the van from something that you would use occasionally and then charge the batteries when you got home to something that you can use all the time. And ever since that has been fitted,
we've not had to hook up.
We've never had to hook up
in the 4 and a bit months that we've had the van.
Yeah.
So that's
and we've
amazing.
never had to charge the leisure batteries independently.
So stuff for the van. So this was stuff like the pots, the pans, the bedding, the wire for the B2B and the solar panel, and other bits and pieces. There was quite a bit that we needed to get. Kevin put shelves in the
there's loads of storage in this van, but it's all big storage. And as you fall, well, you'll be forever searching for stuff. There's a big cupboard by the sink, so we put some drawers in it.
Yeah.
You know, just to break up the space. It's a lot easier.
A lot easier. So that in total come to £223.95. So then, after driving the van for a little while, we realised that it wasn't driving as well as it could do, and it was the gears. So we decided we would go to a garage, get that looked at, and the guy said, which Kevin had already mentioned, it probably just needs oil. Everybody changes all the oils at the sort of like the big engine bit, but they forget things like the gearbox oil and the rear diff oil. So we had that done, and the van performed amazingly afterwards. Got up all the oils and everything, didn't it? It was like, like a different van.
Made a big difference. Yeah, that's another thing. Obviously, when you're buying a van, do all your checks. Make sure the people have been servicing it, got the oil changed. Whole different car, brilliant. The best. How much was it?
£109.37.
The garage, couple of hours. No
Yeah,
problems.
cheap, and they lent us a car as well, didn't we? So
and
we
they
just
lent
went
us,
round Topor
Yeah.
for the day. Okay, so repairs. So there was a few things that we needed to do. Kevin put up mosquito nettings on the windows. There was some sills that just needed some attention. We had a couple of rust spots that we knew we had to sort out to go through the woof and one thing and another, and that come to £41.14. And I think that is it. And we sold the van.
Yes. So this is the last video from inside in the van.
So we put it up for sale on the Friday. It was about 8:20
in the evening.
In the evening. We had 6 messages. 6 people wanted it, sort of like wanted it. And I thought, well, I'm not selling it without you coming to see it. Some chap said, oh, where are you going to be Sunday? Well, I said, well, where we're going to be. He come, paid full price.
Yeah.
And we couldn't believe it. We put it up for sale thinking, oh, we've got 4 weeks left. And then we thought, oh, what are we going to do? But we just thought, well, we've got 4 weeks left. Let's go and spend it back with the kids. So, yeah, that's the end of van life for us in New Zealand.
Yeah, that's it.
So we will
bittersweet moment. You know, we're happy to have recouped our costs.
Yes.
No problems at all. We've added a little bit of value to it. We have made a little bit of a profit. We're not.
The van owed us, so we paid £7,812.50. But including all those other things, it was probably about another £1,000 on top. And so let's just say that's nearly 9, so it was nearly 10. And we've sold the van for £11,197.92. So we've made a little profit on it.
Yeah, so that's all right. And just to give you some idea, we've driven it from the top of the North Island to the bottom of the South Island. We went down the west coast, we came back up the east coast, and of course we went side to side in between. Overall, we've covered,
in kilometres, 10,885 kilometres in just about 4 months, which equates to 6,763 miles.
Which ain't bad. Give you some idea of scale. New Zealand's quite a big country.
It is.
And there ain't a great deal of roads.
No.
Each island is about the size of the UK. It's about 1,000 kilometres top to bottom each island, I think. Roughly when I was looking at it. And it's a bit skinnier than UK. So you can imagine, you know, we've covered most of it. And we're very, very happy.
Yes.
The road conditions are interesting. Not all the roads are metalled, tarmac. Unfortunately, due to nature.
A lot of the roads don't exist no more.
Well, yeah, you know, they had a couple of bad weather incidents.
Oh, gosh. Yeah,
So
it's
a
not funny.
lot of the roads.
I'll drop in a few pictures.
Yeah, a lot of the roads got washed out, and a lot of the roads are built into the side of hills, and yeah, it's.
You think some of the, so you go and say, like for instance, Highway 1. You think, oh, it's just the motorway. It can be the really windy road going up a side of a mountain like that. So North Island has got more straighter roads. South Island's got more windy roads and less roads.
Yeah, there's no, I won't say there's no, so they don't actually put the gradients on the hills. I think we've seen 2 or 3 hills where they've put the gradients in. In our experience, in my opinion, I don't think there's much here, much worse than 1 in 5. General driving roads are okay. There's a lot of tight turns. You need to be confident in the wheel. Driving standards in New Zealand, sorry, they ain't great. People just really
Patience.
They got no patience. They don't really look where
there's
they're
no
going.
tolls here, is there, as such?
No, there are a couple of tolls.
Is there?
Yeah. So in Auckland, on Highway 1, as you're coming out of Auckland, there's a toll section.
Oh.
We avoided it, and the sat-nav, we set up a sat-nav no toll, so it just went.
Just another quickie, if you are thinking of bringing your van to New Zealand, we did look into it and the price had tripled. So to bring our van to New Zealand would have cost us one way about £7,500, and that's not including us. That was just the van. It needs a test at the end, test to leave it. And to be honest with you, I'm glad we didn't, because the state of some of the roads, the potholes, the unmetalled roads, our van would have been wrecked.
Yeah, and we would have struggled filling up. So
with
if you
LPG.
do, yeah, if you do, the fitting here is the dish fitting. So
Yes.
give you some idea. We have seen 1 van from Switzerland.
Yep. And LPG is not sold here like it is in Europe for tank filling, is it?
No, it's
So,
not. I mean,
I think we've covered anything. If there's anything that you think we haven't covered, or if you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments. If you think I've been a bit distracted, it's been quite busy here. So
yeah.
we thought, we'll do it nice and quiet. There's been like about 12 black swans just fly above. Like a lady there, dogs, you don't see dogs. And this is the place we've seen more dogs here in the like 4 months that we've been here. So, yeah, nearly 5 months. 5 months that we've been here. Yeah. So we would have took this van to Australia because we love this van, but it's too old. Anything older than 2000 they won't take. So we was thinking that, and it probably would have been affordable to have done so, but then we would have had the problem of bringing it back. So we are going to be buying another van when we get to Australia, probably.
Yes.
But we're going to hold that thought because a few things have come up.
So if you are going to do the whole New Zealand, Australia, back to New Zealand business, buy a fairly modern. You go onto the website and you put in the VIN number, and if it's already in the Australian system for make and model, then they've already accepted what it is, and other than it needs to be cleaned,
which will cost you $1,000.
That's it. That's pretty much it. If it's not in their system, classified if you like, and that's a whole different thing. They do a whole bunch of tests, and they it's not worth it.
It's long. So there. Hopefully that's covered it. We probably will do another video on what we thought of New Zealand, because there's quite a lot to go over that. I will just say it's not what it says on the tin, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. We have really enjoyed our time here, but would we come back if we didn't have kids here? I wouldn't come back.
No, maybe if we were in the area.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that we would do if we were passing.
Doubtful Sound and Stuart's Island is the only thing I can think of. And that's not because we didn't like it. I think once you've done it, you've done it.
Yeah, you've done it.
Yeah. So guys, thank you for watching. As I say, I hope this has helped. We didn't offer too much. I hope the information clarifies some things in you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and we will see you again soon.
Yeah.
Maybe in
Australia.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Bye.
See ya. Good day.
G'day, mate. G'day, sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they going to call us whinging poms?
We ain't whinging. We don't whinge.
Gosh, we don't whinge, do we?
Not much.
Yeah. Anyway, bye guys. GoPro, stop recording. Bye, Freeman. Sad my life. Just waiting for Kevin to come with the car. Come on, Kevin. It's windy, but it's warm.